We can usually look at a child to tell if he or she is at the extreme of overweight or underweight, but we're not so good at visually estimating weights between the extremes. That's where a BMI can help.
To intervene early and possibly prevent the development of overweight and obesity, BMI percentile for age and sex must be recorded and plotted over time. Tracking height and weight, or even BMI by itself, is not enough.
This chart shows BMI percentiles by age for boys. BMI percentile by sex and age is used to measure pediatric obesity. This is because the quantity of body fat changes with age and is different between the sexes. A BMI at or above the 85th percentile but below the 95th percentile for age and gender is termed overweight. A BMI at or above the 95th percentile for age and sex is termed obese. BMI, or body mass index, is measured by dividing the mass of the subject in kilograms by the squared height in meters of the subject. Alternatively, if height and weight are measured in pounds and inches, weight divided by the squared height is multiplied by 703.
There are several tools to calculate BMI. Some are web-based and some are electronic, but I like this BMI percentile wheel. It's in the Texas Pediatric Society's obesity toolkit, and it was developed at Children's Hospital in Boston. Metric or English units can be used to determine the patient's BMI, and by turning the wheel over, you can determine the BMI percentile for every age and gender.
Here's an example. An 8-year-old male is 52 inches tall and weighs 80 pounds. The patient's BMI is 20.8.
Well, let's use this example to illustrate how BMI percentile is affected by changes in height and age, while the weight remains a constant. This patient is a boy, a male, whose BMI is 20.8. The only way to gauge his risk for obesity is to analyze this BMI percentile with respect to age. A BMI of 20.8 places an 8-year-old boy at the 97th percentile. If a year later this boy has maintained his weight at 80 pounds, but has grown the normal 1.5 inches that he should, his BMI will have dropped to 19.6. This would put him in the 92nd percentile, which is now below the cut point for obesity. If a child can maintain his or her weight by modifying their physical activity and nutrition, time may help decrease their BMI percentile. This means the child may not have to lose weight, just maintain it under certain circumstances. And this obviously will depend on the individual situation and the degree of the child's obesity.